Ladies and gentlemen, this particular story I want to talk about involves this individual that you guys see on my screen that is accused of doing something that is just beyond unspeakable, and it's just no excuse for it. The individual that y'all see on my screen who looked like she could be Jay Leno's baby sister in the face with that potato shaped face right there. Y'all see that face? Let's go back to that face. Y'all look at this woman right here. Oh, square face. Just, I don't understand how you just, man. This Connecticut individual woman is accused of fatally shooting her daughter, her own kid, and wounding one of her other children because it sounded like she tried to murder both of her kids. The children were twice hospitalized for mental issues that her husband said were worsened by the COVID-19 pandemic, according to an affidavit of probable cause released Monday. So I guess we're just going to blame everything on COVID, I guess. The individual that you see on my screen right there with that square head, her name is Naomi Bell, a 43-year-old Terryville resident. I don't know why she looked like she's somebody's great-grandma. She really do look like she's somebody's great-grandma, like she's about a good 70 years old. She is a Terryville resident who grew up in Seymour and remained silent during a video conference appearance Monday in New Britain Judicial District Court. That individual faces charges of murder with special circumstances and criminal attempt to commit murder with special circumstances. Bell remains in custody after a judge on Monday upheld her $2.5 million bond. And I'm going to tell you guys, I have no sympathy for her having a bond that high. I'll just be honest with you. But if I can at least address this, and I know every circumstance is a little bit different, but I'm going to tell y'all, it's a little bit weird how we're just so, I don't know. It seems like we're just not on an even keel when it comes to people who have murdered children, people who have abused children, hurt children, and pose a danger to children. I think all of them should either have $1 million bonds or no bond. We've seen situations where people were able to spend a few $1,000s and get out of jail and bond out. There was a story I did on the channel. I think it was the very last one that I did of a black man and a black woman who only had to pay a little bit of pocket change to get out of jail after they were accused of abusing children. Actually, no. They had abandoned a baby in a field after that baby ended up murdered. I believe that they murdered the baby, but they just weren't able to find the body, but they didn't end up getting very much of a bond. I think if you hurt children, $1 million bond or better or no bond. How do y'all feel about that? I think that's fair. Because children can't speak for themselves, nor can they defend themselves against the tyranny of people with square foreheads. Now, Jessette Henry, who was Bell's public defender, because obviously she's broke. She looked broke in the face too. But she couldn't afford private counsel and has a public defender that was appointed Monday morning, said her client recently had 2 psychiatric episodes. Nice. So they're going to try to give her an excuse and say that she was crazy. Apparently, she must have been going through 40 plus year old postpartum depression. They going to come up with some type of an excuse to say why, well, she don't need to do life in prison for trying to murder her children. Huh? I just don't like that. You abuse and hurt children, ain't no excuse. I don't care what you were going through. Prior to that, my client had no further criminal involvement. So it's very clear that my client is experiencing her first psychosis experience. What? Boy, if the judge and the jury go for that, then we are really, really losing in America. Her first psychosis experience? That's your defense? That's your defense? Her first? Well, what if she had another? Then maybe she wouldn't have killed one kid. Maybe she would have killed both. Maybe she would have killed more people. Like, what do you mean her first? Next thing you know, they're going to be blaming us on menopause. I don't understand, man. According to an affidavit of probable cause for the arrest, Owen Bell said that his wife became depressed after her sister died in 2013. I'm going to read this again. Her husband said that his wife became depressed after her sister died in 2013. So let's do the math. Let's minus 43, 42, 41, 40, 39, 38, 37, 36. This woman was 36 years old. So you mean to tell me you have seen no death? You've never lost a parent or a cousin or a distant relative or a friend by the time you turn 37 years old? Are you kidding me? See, you can't, like, I just lost my aunt, what, last month? My favorite aunt. On my dad's side, my very, very close aunt who I love so much. I done lost friends. I done lost business partners. I just lost a business partner. Shout out to my guy Ray, who passed away, what? Not even a week ago. Not even a few days ago. I've been losing friends to death and health conditions and murder and all kind of stuff all year long. I think it started really like November, December of last year. How many of you guys in the chat have lost somebody for whatever reasons? Anybody who passed away, you lost somebody. So that's now going to be an excuse for you to kill your kids? 7 years later. Let me repeat that. They are now trying to use an excuse of her losing her sister when she was 36 years old in 2013, 7 years ago. You're still mourning your sister who died 7 years ago, and you're bringing that up to say that she was depressed and that's why she shot and killed her kids? Sometimes I just think sometimes the best thing to say is just nothing. Owen Bell, her husband, should have just shut his fat lips up. Why would you even say that? So are you trying to justify and say, well, yeah, she was just going through her first psychosis incident and that's why she shot and tried to kill 2 of her kids because she was depressed about her sister who died 7 years ago. Please, somebody tell me where the logic is in that. But let's keep going. Bell said his wife told him Homeland Security was circling the house and would come take her and the kids if she said she surrendered. Naomi Bell had been prescribed antipsychotic medications. Her husband told police, but he was concerned she wasn't taking them. Up until a few months ago, Naomi Bell had been a substitute teacher in a local school district where she taught for a year and a half, according to her attorney. So what was she doing before that? Anyway, Bell was previously a molecular biology associate who worked in a research lab for 7 years. So there you go. That's what she was doing prior. Henry, who requested that the judge reduce her client's bail to $500,000, said that Bell is not a flight risk and has lived in Connecticut her entire life. She does have family strong ties. Henry pointed to Bell's family living in the area and the fact that she graduated from the University of Hartford and Seymour High School as evidence she is not a flight risk. State prosecutors asked that Bell's bond remain at the $2.5 million, noting that she faces the possibility of life imprisonment without the possibility of release. Judge Tammy D. Gethers ordered the bond to remain at the $2.5 million. A probable cause hearing is scheduled for January the 12th, which is coming up here in a few months. Bell was ordered to surrender any firearms and ammunition as part of protective orders against the three individuals who were referred to only by their initials during the court proceedings. Henry asked that Bell be allowed an on-demand mental health attention with medication. She said Bell is also invoking her Fifth Amendment and Sixth Amendment rights to not speak to law enforcement regarding the incident. So she's not crazy enough to know that she ain't got to tell them what exactly happened. Isn't that something? But she's crazy, though. She's crazy. Police said that they responded to a North Main Street residence for a report of a disturbance. When officers arrived, police said that they found two juveniles in the home with serious injuries. One was a 15-year-old that was fatally wounded, while the 7-year-old was in critical condition. State police said Monday that the 7-year-old remained at Connecticut Children's Medical Center in Hartford, but they did not have an update on the child's condition. So we just got to hope and pray that that child survives. Owen Bell said that he had taken the couple's third child to a basketball game when called home and heard the horrible screaming coming from his daughter. The man said he called 911 and arrived home before the police got there. He said he found his wife with the gun in her hands, according to the affidavit. Owen Bell told police that he owned multiple guns, keeping them locked in a cabinet. Naomi Bell later admitted to the police that she shot the two children. So that's according to her own square-faced words. More than 250 people attended the vigil Sunday for the children and those impacted by the violence. Several memorials have been set up in the small Litchfield County community, including one in front of the 2-story North Main Street home that Bell purchased in 2003. Let me show you guys the news videos and let you guys hear from the news. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. All right, guys. We are over 400 thumbs up. Our next goal is 500 thumbs up. If you guys will click that thumbs up, we only need 85 people to click that thumbs up, okay? All right, let's listen to the news videos.
We're also following developing news tonight.
It's been awful. It's been awful. I keep hoping it's a nightmare and I'll wake up and it wouldn't have happened.
A community shaken after a high school student is shot and killed, and a younger sibling is in critical condition. Now a mother is facing murder charges. It's the shocking story unfolding in the small town of Plymouth last night. 43-year-old Naomi Bell is now charged with murder and criminal attempt to commit murder. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Elliot Polikoff joins us now. And Elliot, Naomi and her family were a pretty big part of the local Terryville community, weren't they?
Yeah, that's right, Kevin. And when I spoke to Naomi, the neighbors about Naomi Bell and her children, you could see their faces light up. People had nothing but positive things to say. And that's what makes last night so hard for these neighbors to wrap their head around.
Talk to anyone of any age on Main Street in Terryville. They've got some special memories with the Bell family.
Also, I'd see some of the kids there, and she would tell my sister to play with the other kids.
Braiding your daughter's hair, baking chocolate chips. They were a great family, and she was a great mom.
So after last night, only one question is on everyone's mind. What happened?
It's pretty heartbreaking, and it's sad how a family could do that, you know?
I feel numb. It's hard. It's hard.
There's still so much for these neighbors to process, so many conflicting emotions, but the Main Street Terryville community is doing its best to move forward.
Everyone in the community has reached out to us, or I've reached out to them. We have prayers for Plymouth. We have kindness acts in this town. Everyone is coming together to and help one another in any way that we can.
And while the future for the Bells remains uncertain, the support from their extended family is anything but.
We're here for the family. If there's anything that they could possibly need, we want to extend our help.
A virtual candlelight vigil will take place tomorrow at 4 p.m. It will be live streamed via Facebook by the Terryville Congregational Church. We'll be sure to update you on any new developments regarding the shooting and the status of those impacted whenever we receive any new information. For now, live in the studio, Elliot Polikoff, Channel 3 Eyewitness.
They're going to try to give as many excuses as they can for this woman. I think they have taken a good stance with making sure and upholding that $2.5 million bond. I think if she were to try to get out, she would definitely do something detrimental. And the fact that one of her kids is in critical condition, I really hope that that child pulls through, which is the 7-year-old. The 15-year-old is deceased. There's no reason for this woman to get out of jail. Not now, not ever. And the fact that you're going to try to blame it on her grieving a death that happened 7 years ago, not 7 days ago, not 7 hours ago, 7 years ago. I think just bringing that up is absolutely ridiculous. And the fact that it came from her husband, like, just shut up, in my opinion. But nonetheless, it's just a really sad situation all the way around. These girls didn't deserve that, and I don't know if there were any causes, anything that they could have did to prevent this. I just think that she just was an evil person and decided to just take it out on these girls rather than taking it out on herself since she was so damn miserable. But nonetheless, keep the high bond, throw her ass in jail permanently, and get rid of her. All right? And RIP to that 15-year-old girl, to the 7-year-old. I hope that that little girl pulls through. This is your boy DJ Just J, where we're going to continue to keep giving our children and our babies a voice, and we're going to speak for them first and keep them as our first priority. From my heart to yours, thank you guys for listening with an open mind and an open heart. We'll see you guys on the next stream, okay? Thank you.